Hi everyone and welcome to episode 7 of Batte Aston Villa with me, the United City FM. Welcome along. So we're coming back for a slightly different match than originally thought at the back end of last episode. There's been a change in the fixture list a little bit and a change in the structure as we move towards the end of the FM22 beta. So today's match is actually going to be against Newcastle United in the Premier League, and I will fill you in on all the plans between now and the official launch as we get into the episode. So let's do this. Welcome back to the FM22 beta. So before we get going, let me just talk about what we're going to be doing for the next few days. So I've got through the Villa save a little bit too quickly. I probably shouldn't have played so many games off camera, but you live and learn, and I have. So today, as I'm recording this now, is a Monday morning with a week and a day left of the FM22 beta. Now, I'm only doing one season with Villa. So what I've done is I've got us through to the Newcastle United match, and that is the first of 8 matches to finish off this FM22 beta season with Aston Villa to set Dean Smith some targets and see what he can do in response. So now what's going to happen is that every day between now and the official launch a week or tomorrow, week Tuesday, I'm going to be putting out an episode of the Villa beta battle, and we will play the next match in the run-in until the end of the season. So it's going to move quite slowly in that sense, but we're going to see whether we can improve the form that has completely lost us over the last month of in-game football. That's what's going to happen. I hope you're going to be okay with that. And every day we'll put a video out until we've finished this beta battle with Aston Villa, ready for the official launch of FM22. So before we get going into the match for today against Newcastle, let's check back in on the highlights, not the highlights. There were no highlights, trust me, on the fixture list from this last month. It really does not make for good reading, does it? I always knew that run of fixtures was going to be very, very hard. I kind of hoped that we had enough about us to get a few points here and there, but we just didn't at all. We lost that match against Southampton 1-0 in the lead up to this really bad run of fixtures to play. We then played Liverpool, Tottenham, Man United all in a row, got beaten in all of those as well. We very narrowly got a home win against Brentford, which I thought would turn our form around a little bit. But it really didn't seem to that much, because the following match we lost 1-0 at home to Norwich as well. The floor has fallen out of the side, to be honest. It's not been looking good for quite a few weeks. I've had to change up the formation and the style of play, etc., just to see if we can get something going again. But if we now look at the run-in, unfortunately, you can just about see them behind my face cam. So the run-in has Newcastle, Palace, Leicester, Brighton, Chelsea, Everton, Arsenal, Man City. So the Chelsea, Everton, Arsenal, Man City last 4 fixtures of the season are really tough again. We need to get as many points out of Newcastle, Palace, Leicester and Brighton as we possibly can, just to keep ourselves in the conversation for European football for future that we're not actually going to be participating in, because we're only doing one season. But that's the intention. Get as high up the table as we can. Set Dean Smith as many targets as we can. The cup competitions have not been particularly kind to us. I was hoping for a higher league position finish than currently it looks like. That run of form has really dented us. But we have to move on. So for today's match, we play Newcastle United. If we click in on them, you will see that they're sitting in 9th position in the Premier League. We're in about 7th at the moment. So it's a real tricky tie for us to play. Let's go and have a look in actually on the Premier League. You'll see how far we've fallen. We were in and around sort of 4th, 5th, 6th for quite a long period this season. We were slightly higher than that for a little while as well. And now we're currently down in 7th. We've got a game in hand over a couple of teams above us. And the important team is West Ham United. We've got Tottenham directly above us on the same amount of games played and the same amount of points. So they're a direct rival. But West Ham are 1 point clear of us in 5th position. and they've played an extra game than us so far. So this is our 31st match today against Newcastle. If we can win it, we leapfrog above West Ham at least and get ourselves back in this top 6 for a European spot. And that now has to be the intention. But we've got, as you saw, some very tricky fixtures coming up. So let's see how we get on in the first of those tricky fixtures against Newcastle United. So here we are on the tactics page, and you'll see immediately the asymmetric system has gone. I've gone in a more structured 4-4-2, and I've gone for a custom wing play. When we used to change things in and around this tactic on FM21, it would usually go to, say, custom wing play. I have gone in here and changed a few bits and pieces around and just made it suit us, I hope, a little bit better. But ultimately, something had to change, and it had to be the structure of play and the formation that went, because that run of form just completely did us in. And the previous match against Norwich, where we lost 1-0, really wasn't good enough. Those are the sorts of matches that we needed to be getting results from. So we've gone into the 4-4-2. We're going to be a little bit more structured in how we play that. We've got a few injuries. And what I would say about that run of fixtures against the really big boys that we've played recently is we never were able to put out our first 11. We had all sorts of players missing for various points along the way. Ings and Mings were both out at one point or another. We've currently got Leon Bailey out at the moment. There's just been all sorts of issues to deal with, and suspensions as well through picking up too many yellow cards, etc. So it's been a little bit of a problem, but hopefully we'll get a little bit more of a settled side moving into these last 8 fixtures. So for today's fixture, Steer, the reserve goalkeeper, Aguilar and Leon Bailey are all out injured. Everybody else is fit to play. So we're going in for today's fixture with Martinez in goal, Cash at right back, Target at left back, Konsa and Mings in central defence, McGinn and Luiz in central midfield, Buendia on the right, Al Ghazi on the left, and Ings and Delap up top, with a 9-man bench all ready and raring to go if they should be needed. So let's get into today's game and see what happens. With the team talk, I've tried to rally the troops as much as I possibly can. So we've pumped the fists and we've said, I expect a win today. We're at home against Newcastle. It's going to be a tricky game. Obviously, they're only a couple of places below us in the league, but we need to be winning some matches and getting some points back on the board again. And this is the chance to do so in the early stages of our run-in to the end of the Premier League season. So, you know, we have to be as much positive as we can. Ings intercepts the ball very nicely. El Ghazi onto Delap, top of the box, has a fire at goal, but it goes high and wide slightly. But a good early sighter and some good dynamic play from Ings to intercept that ball in a slightly deeper role for him. With Delap on alongside him, I've put Delap on as the sort of the poacher and Ings in just behind, sort of alongside him, but just sitting a little bit deeper to get involved in the play a little bit more. Fraser comes out for Newcastle United, but Mings sorts that out for us at the back very nicely, looking a little bit more secure just at the moment. A few things are going in our favour. Al Ghazi working brilliantly well. There's another really lovely ball from Ings. Oh, it's such a shame. Ings put a lovely ball through, and it was Delap again into the box. Couldn't quite get it round the goalkeeper. If we were moving on in this formation with Aston Villa, you definitely want to improve the striking options. But having said that, it's brilliant how this game works for you. You mentioned something like how the strikers need to be a bit better. And Delap, one of the strikers who might need to be a little bit better, goes and does that. Really lovely goal. Again, Ings getting involved, Buendia supporting the play. And then just outside the penalty box, on the a sixpence, Delap swivels and then blasts a low shot past the goalkeeper for 1-0 after 7 or 8 minutes of play. And they've been very highlight heavy for us so far. We've had a good start to the game. A little bit lower in possession than we have been, than I would like to be, let's say. But in the wide play kind of mentality now, it's all about getting those balls out wide and getting the crosses in as early as we can. And we haven't really seen too much of that so far. We've had build-up play through the centre so far, really, with the likes of Ings dropping in and getting involved. But I would hope for a little bit more as we move through the game of those wide players supported by the fullbacks, just getting those early crosses in and giving Ings and Delap something to work with in the box. But we'll see how that goes. 35 minutes in, since that 8 or 9 minute mark, it's been very, very quiet. You can see that we've doubled their shots at goal and their shots on target. The XG rating isn't particularly spectacular. They've had more possession, but we have that 1 goal lead leading up to half-time. We've looked a little bit more stable whenever we've seen the highlights, and that was something that we really desperately needed to figure out and do so with Villa at this point in the season, having that really poor run of fixtures that we had. So we do reach half-time. It wasn't particularly spectacular for that second half of the first half, let's say. Let's see how we can improve things. I think we'll go pump the fists. Things are going well, capable of even better. Just keep it positive because we need to keep that morale high. We'll go into the shouts, demand more from them for this second half. We're in a positive mentality in terms of our attacking style of play, so that's not a bad place for us to be either. Just on the front foot a little bit. We'll see how we go in this second half. But so far, it's not been too bad, has it? Delap on the ball, drops it into McGinn. Ings takes over. Lots of space ahead of him with Delap ahead of him as well. And he has a pot shot, a bit like at the start of the first half. We had a couple of shots that peppered the goal. On that occasion, again, we didn't really trouble the goalkeeper. But again, a good early sighter in this second half, and that's what is going to be hopefully useful to us as it progresses on. 66 minutes on the clock. We're going to have to make a couple of substitutions, freshen it up a little bit. It's gone a little bit flat, just as Newcastle have an opportunity for a highlight here, but we take the ball again from them, defensively looking very, very solid, which is really good. Mings comes out with it. And he switches the play over to the right-hand side for Cash. A little bit of a wayward ball there. Put Buendia on the backward step a little bit. And Newcastle intercept an easy ball in their defensive unit. And they counter very quickly with Saint-Maximin. And Fraser on this right-hand side. And now they're going to get a chance in the box. Wilson drops it back and gets... Oh, that was a really, really lucky situation for us, really. It probably should have been a goal for them, and they didn't make it pay. And at 71 minutes, now's the time to go in and make a couple of substitutions for us and just see if we can switch up the play a little bit. So, El Ghazi not looking fantastic, unfortunately for him. So he's going to be coming out. Target not looking great on that left wing either. So it's that left-hand side that's letting us down. So we're going to put Ashley Young out there, bit of experience. And we're going to also take out El Ghazi and put Trezeguet in because Leon Bailey's injured. Trezeguet's not looked bad since he came back from his long injury. He's not looked too bad at all. And we're just going to give a little bit of support to the... who are we though? There's a couple of players on their last legs, it looks like. Ings and Buendia. Do we need to replace one of them? I was originally going to put some extra fresh legs in central midfield, but I think we're going to have to support these players. So I think we're going to take Buendia out and put Traore in down that right-hand side and just see if we can get some fresh legs in the wide areas where hopefully we can do some damage. Obviously, in the wing play kind of setup, it is going to be those wide areas that get tired quicker because they're doing a lot more work than some of the rest of the side is, but that's what they're there to do. So we'll see whether we can get this game sorted and through to the end, still in a lead. You can see that the stats for the game suggest that we've had the better of it in a lot of ways, but it's still not been completely conclusive. And with 10 minutes still left to go, at any point, Newcastle could cause us a problem. We win the ball back in midfield again, though, but then Trezeguet, having come on as a sub, gives the ball away really, really cheaply. And if the chance from Newcastle comes from this and they get a goal, I'll be a bit cross about that one because it really was a very simple ball to play and he didn't play it well enough at all. And they have worked an opportunity into the box, but Cash sorts it out for us at the back. And then we play it out reasonably well, but Newcastle win it again in their defensive unit and put it in back into central midfield again. And off they go again, over the top. Ashley Young this time hooks it clear, but again, Newcastle win that second ball. And it was coming, and it all stemmed from that really poor pass from Trezeguet. And from that point, we were on the back foot. We never won any of those second balls at all. And ultimately, Newcastle kept pushing and pushing and pushing. And eventually, St. Maximin at the top of the box, we gave him too much space and he made us pay for it. And with 7 minutes to go, plus a little bit of injury time, unfortunately, we're back to 1-1. And again, we're going to potentially lose out on some points and just diminish our morale a little bit. So what can we do here? We're going to have to change up the style of play, I think. I want to stick in the 4-4-2 as much as I can, but we can't make any more personnel changes. So let's see what we can do here. First off, we can go into the attacking mentality. Let's see what we can do in possession. We'll take off the early crosses and just see if we can work a better opportunity. We'll switch the tempo down slightly and the passing length as well, just to see if we can keep a little bit more possession as we move through the gears and move through the lines. So we're going to do that. And then in transition, let's counter press as well. Now for the last little bit, it's going to tire us out and we're already dead on our feet a bit, but it just hopefully will help us win the ball higher up the pitch, possibly. And to do that, I think we will also put us much higher up the pitch in terms of the lines of engagement. So let's press a little bit more. So it's a last throw of the dice, really. I'm not sure whether it's going to be successful at this point, but we've got to give it a go. So here we go, back in with the last few minutes of the game. You can see that we are now 1-1 and the momentum of this match has shifted across to Newcastle just a little bit in the dying minutes, unfortunately. We've still had more shots at goal than they have. They've still had more possession. In the middle, we meet and we get a 1-1 draw, it looks like. Couple of moments left to play. And I think that's going to be it. And it is, again, really, really disappointing. But again, it shows. Today we had the likes of El Ghazi and Trezeguet playing down this left-hand side. We had Leon Bailey missing. I think if we're going to play a 4-4-2 longer term than this season, we'd need a better partner for Ings. Although Delap did pretty well today, and it was Ings that is still struggling a little bit. Overall, I think defensively we look good for most of it. Offensively, still needs a little bit of work, and we come away with a 1-1 draw. So we do move up to 6th position, but I think it'll only be temporary. Tottenham have still got that game in hand to play over us, and I suspect they might reel us back in again. But we're back on even par with West Ham in terms of pretty much everything, really. Points and goal difference is pretty much identical. So there's going to be a big shootout between the two of us going towards the end of this season to see who can finish higher. And if Tottenham lose that game, I think it's probably to Liverpool, and maybe in like the Monday night game or something. If they lose to Liverpool, then we do have a shout of staying ahead of them as the season progresses on. So there's still a lot to play for in these last few fixtures. We're going to see how high we can finish. But the form has just completely deserted us. If we go back into the schedule page to look at what we've got coming up next episode, then you'll see, I mean, we started off brilliantly well. Once that first game was done against West Ham, we went on a really good run there. We had a good pocket of results just in November, December time. And then just at the back of January, after we got those 3 wins in the Premier League back-to-back, it just went wrong, and it really did. And it was partly due to going out in the FA Cup possibly, but just partly because we played some really tricky games all in a row. And the form has completely deserted us, and trying to drag a result out of them now is proving very hard. We've got 3 away fixtures for the next 3 episodes coming up. Crystal Palace, Leicester, Brighton, all in a row. That's going to make it slightly trickier. Palace up next in tomorrow's episode. Yeah, we really, really do need some points. So come and join me for that one. Hopefully we'll find a way to get back to winning ways for the run-in of the season, because there's still some tricky fixtures to come. But for today, that's going to do it. Thank you for joining me. Really appreciate it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and join my United City community. The more the merrier. Click that like button for me. That'll help me get me seen by so many more people. Leave a comment in the YouTube comments below and get the YouTube algorithms working in that regard as well. Do all sorts of things. And we can still continue to grow this channel, but you can play your part, so that would be fantastic if you would. Anyway, until next time, take care of yourselves. I'll see you very soon. Bye for now.